So let's dive into how Alfred and Zapier work together with Reflect to send the information from one to the other. This is the very simple workflow I use in Alfred. It's adapted from this Zapier for Alfred workflow that you can actually find here on GitHub. There's going to be links in the first comment below this post. On GitHub, you can download the workflow with some explanations, and then on the Zapier.com site, you have a full tutorial about how to use it. Let's look at how my specific Zap then works. Zap is, in Zapier, a little program that, as I said in the other video, connects apps between each other while transforming the content in the meantime. So we're going to click on Edit Zap so we can look at the details here. It all starts with what is called a trigger. Every Zap starts with a trigger, something that says, okay, this is happening. In this context here, we have a webhook. The webhook is basically a URL that is here. The URL is specific to each webhook, of course, and you can copy it here to use it somewhere else. So what the webhook does, it gets all the parameters you send from Alfred. There's then a second step. The second step is independent from the content you send. All it does, it takes the current date and time and just formats it in the format I want, which is capital H, which means hours in a 24-hour clock, minutes. That's it. And it comes from the full timestamp in UTC time zone. This is just for me, it's more practical. You can of course change the parameters as you want. The next step then is to split the action into paths. And so paths basically are like a if statement where you say, I'm splitting in between 4 paths. The first path here tests for the query string and checks that the text we have passed does not contain a pipe. If there is no pipe in the text we sent, it means we did not add like sentiment. It means that this is a note and not a journal entry. And in that case, the next step is to straight add that to Reflect. The event we use is append to daily note. And then in the configuration, we say that we want that to be appended to the today note. And that's it. This is the name of my graph. And this is the content we have received, the query string n. N is the name of the parameter we send from Alfred to Zapier. So in the second case here is what happens if we actually find in the string a pipe followed by a plus. In that case, this path is going to be followed. We do have a little bit of formatting to do. This is a slightly specific thing to Reflect and Alfred. Reflect requires me to type 2 brackets and then the name of the note I want to use, in this case is a plus, and then 2 closing brackets. The problem is that Alfred escapes brackets, and so when Alfred, if I type directly this bracket plus bracket, and then I send it through, Alfred will escape the brackets, therefore Zapier will consider that as text, and so when it gets into my Reflect, I will actually read bracket plus bracket as opposed to having the brackets be interpreted as enclosing an entity. So what I do is that I use pipe plus, pipe equal, pipe minus, which is also faster to type. It's only 2 characters instead of 5. And then inside the Zap, I replace pipe plus with bracket plus and closing brackets. And in the end, I append to the daily note, but here we have a couple more changes. We still append to the today note. We prepend the output of the format time action, so we have the time. And then we also put that into a list called journal. And the content is not the original message, but is the result of this replacement. So if there was a pipe plus at the end, now there is a bracket plus closing brackets. And then the same exact thing happens for the neutral, pipe equal, and for the negative, pipe minus. Those 3 branches are absolutely identical. Again, I want to reiterate that this is a little more complex than I wish it was, only due to the question of the brackets being escaped by Alfred and then received by Zapier and transmitted as text as opposed to actual brackets. You will find the links to those templates in the first comment below the post. Zapier offers this ability to share a template, which means that you will have the structure of this Zap, but of course you will have to connect it with your own accounts. This one is connected to my Reflect account, and it's my specific webbook. In your case, you're gonna have yours. And enjoy, try to play with it. My Telegram Zap is extremely similar, just a different webbook ID, and then everything else is about the same. I encourage you to play with those. It's very fun, and Zapier can be used for many things.